So welcome everyone for this wonderful, interesting, terrific panel, I would say, because the talk of the town everywhere, not only GCC, everywhere is AI, Gen AI. That's something we've been hearing everywhere. And everyone wants to do something in AI, Gen AI. Probably they may not have a proper vision what to do, but still someone continue to do. When we started working with a lot of existing GCCs through our consulting company, one thing we realized is most of the GCCs already started working a POC or MVP in GCC, in AI and Gen AI. But what is the need? Where the need is, they wanted an outsider inside view, right? No one is clear whether are we on the right track. So that's one fundamental problem which we have started looking at working with GCCs. And the second thing is, how do we make people to unlearn whatever they think about AI and Gen AI? And how do we bring everybody on board to start the journey of AIJ? That's the second question which we keep getting from the industry, from the GCC companies. So I'm not going to take much time on talking about what is AI, what is Gen AI, because it's all understood. So we'll directly get into the panel discussion. So we'll have maybe 20 seconds of quick introduction with the name and the company, but that's important. We'll start from Mitali. Yeah.
I think you introduced me already, Mitali. Mitali Das, Head of Data Science and Predictive Analytics from Philips Group IT Division.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Garg this side. I'm from Halliburton GPS. So I take care of continuous improvement, digital transformation and strategy for our GPS.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Sumit Srivastava. I'm part of Carelon Global Solutions and I work as a Director for Digital Technologies.
Sriram Gopalswamy, representing Sabre India. If you ever traveled, you touch our solution. We make the world travel.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mauli. I lead the PayPal centers in India. I also am the VP of data engineering for the company. Good to be here.
Thank you, Mauli. I'll start from you. PayPal being a large fintech company, global organization, and having presence in India for more than a decade and a half, and you being a data analytics leader and a site lead, how do you see the AI, Gen AI cultural acceptance in the organization? How does the headquarters look at when you start building a solution or a POC or MVP? What is the kind of acceptance from the headquarters, and also how the overall organizational mindset when they look at AI, Gen AI?
Yeah. I think, Bala, it's a great question. I think we can spend an entire day talking about it. I'll spend a few minutes just outlining our thinking in this space. I think Mohandas actually made an amazing point in the morning in the keynote session. He spoke about not just a company transformation, but an industry transformation. I think Gen AI gives you that opportunity to actually think about it from a large transformation perspective. Now, when you have a transformative technology like this, where everybody is kind of figuring it out grounds up, you don't have legacy into it. You need a framework to do it. So the way as an organization we are approaching it is we have created a strategic generative AI unit that is responsible for looking at creating the frameworks, the use cases, creating some kind of a governance mechanism in terms of making sure that the organization revolves around just this certain set of themes that drive value. And so I think from a top-down perspective, there's good frameworks for us to now go after it at scale. Now, the third point is that truly Gen AI is so accessible that from grounds up, there's a lot of innovation coming, right? And so it doesn't matter where you sit in the globe, you have access to this space where people are innovating on the ground. So if you think about GCCs, we spoke at length about talent from morning till now. So you have a lot of young engineers who want to make a difference. Gen AI is one of the greatest ways for them to come in and make an impact, right? So they want to innovate in their space. And they're experts in their space. They come in and innovate, right? And so they provide a lot of ideas on the ground. And a lot of this are POCs and they want to just go enterprise grade. Now, this is what is hitting us, right? Now, when you think about it from a GCC perspective, we always think about, in the morning session also, Bala, you highlighted value. It is not just about cost. So the way we have to channelize this is, think about it in terms of both efficiency and effectiveness, right? And so efficiency is automatic, right? When you think about Gen AI, because it produces or it's built for driving efficiency, right? Being when you write code, be it process automation, a lot of those things. But effectiveness becomes a very important theme, and that's where we all as leaders come in. Can you channelize this hunger to make a difference in places where you can actually make a difference. That's the role that we all play, and it's very important for us to think about it. So our role becomes marrying where the company is going to these kind of ideas and bringing that synergy, right? And so that's the journey we are all on. We are all learning, and we are all, trying to, make this innovation very impactful for the company.
Awesome, spot on, Maulik. Thank you so much. The thing that comes to my mind when you say efficiency and effectiveness, that's where actually the innovation cycle starts, right? When you go on an innovation, that's where the R&D phase comes in. But the question here, maybe I'll start from Ms. Mitali. What are the typical challenges that the GCCs undergo when they start thinking about such innovation in AI, GenAI, when they start building some solution? What are the typical challenges the team face, Mitali?
Thank you, Bala, for the question. AI, GenAI is evolution towards advanced analytics to the other side of the world is how I see it. The challenges also what typically stays in the world of the analytics, right? When you want GenAI, the biggest thing you need for it to happen is, of course, technological knowledge. You need to have that to start, as Molly also added. But data, if you don't have it right and you don't have it organized right, your AI solutions or GenAI solutions can never be trusted. So I think the GCCs, of course, I think most of them are in the world of data operations, global operations. So what they have is this wealth of data that they are already managing and operationalizing. What it requires is the knowledge of the data also to be used for the right purpose. And hence, the biggest challenges which the GCCs will see as they move on would be to hold this knowledge and make use of this knowledge to create the right GenAI solutions. So from my perspective, it goes sector to sector, domain to domain. And some of the sectors, the knowledge comes very naturally to the young population because they're exposed to that. But some of the sectors where, for example, where we belong, which is healthcare, equipments and technology, invasive surgeries, the knowledge is limited to the ecosystem of healthcare professionals and healthcare technicians. So, of course, it will take us some while to catch up on the GenAI solutions as fast as, probably not as fast as the other industries, but that's going to stay as the biggest gap for any industry to start catching up on the solutions.
Thank you, Mitali. So since you mentioned about healthcare, I will just switch to Sumit, right? So Sumit is from a large global healthcare company, and I'm sure a lot of very high-end KPO work is based out of India, right? Most of that. And I'm sure AI and the AI tools and GenAI will play a major role. So I just like to hear from you, Sumit.
Sure. And first of all, I'm expressing my personal opinion here. To begin with, we keep on talking about AI and Gen AI. I wanted to kind of demystify for the people here. So let's say if we talk about three major business cases on AI, one would be on the individual capacity, wherein we are trying to enhance the productivity of individual. And this is more to do about using GitHub Copilot for the developer productivity. This is one. The second one is really when we try to enhance processes, right? Here we are talking about contact center, avoiding calls that are landing at our contact center, right? And the third one is when we are investing for the future, which is when we are creating a new product line altogether. So the scope, what the GCCs provide is in all three, but ease of implementing innovations is on the first two, and it is on the pretty much higher side. On the first one, it's really very easy. We train our software developers using GitHub Copilot, training them on prompt engineering so that they could accept the suggestions coming out of it. And it's a win-win situation. The associates learn, their productivity increases, although that's questionable, but still their productivity increases. When we talk about processes, GCC are at a place where we have people from operations and from the technology as well. So at a single place, we have ops knowledge and tech knowledge as well. And when they work together seamlessly, I think there are plethora of opportunities that are being explored.
Spot on, Sumit. I would like to continue with the same momentum to Sriram because it comes from a large travel company, travel application software development company. I think the same question, but in the perspective of how agile the AI framework works in the travel industry, travel application development, and also the similar processes involved. When you bring Gen AI, you will be serving multiple customers on multiple parameters. So how does this impactful, Sriram?
It's extremely impactful when it truly comes to the travel industry, because this is an industry that is still nascent, I would say, as far as the tech is concerned, right? Because of all the regulation and other things that is involved. If you take the finance or the e-commerce, they are industries that are like far ahead in few areas. But with all the restrictions and everything that is there in the travel industry, whether I go and search or Bala goes and search, it's going to be the same from one place to another. You want to go, say, fly from here to Delhi, the options are going to be same and so on. Personalization and what we do in each of the areas there makes a big difference now, and that's where we are using all the process and all the tech that goes behind it, whether it is like Copilot and other things that we're using, the Gemini that we're using extensively in making all this, right, and moving everything to the cloud and stuff like that, right? Outside of this, how do we really bring the stability aspect of to our customers, right? It's completely driven today by the whole Gen AI and the frameworks that we use around it. So those are the impacts and kind of process with that. As far as the travel is concerned,
I think the personalization aspect is very important. Mauli, maybe a very short comment from fintech perspective, the personalization related thing.
Yeah, I think, to be truly relevant in a space that's where innovation is happening every day, in Gen AI, for example, things are changing every day. Same thing in the fintech space as well. You have competition that's coming in, and there are, we are, as private players, we're competing with governments as well. And so it's very interesting space to be in. So if you don't personalize, if you're not there where your customers are and what they want to do, I think it's a very quick trend towards where you don't want to go. So let me talk a little bit about personalization. I think the panel touched on it a little bit. See, personalization occurs in multiple areas, right? So let me quickly say, like if you're calling for customer service, then intent on why you're calling should be available for your agent to actually capture it very quickly, right? So that solves the problem. Now, first of all, can you even prevent them from calling, right? So can you design your products in such a way that's very easy for them to use? I think that's where personalization comes in as well. I'll give you a simple example, right? So today, how do you show ads for people when they come to your app to, use your product? So we are in the payments industry, but the way we think about ourselves as PayPal is that we are here to actually revolutionize commerce. So when you come in for payments, can I give you the best deal that is out there in the market? Can I make sure that I'm serving you, like showing you things that are relevant for you as you walk by stores? There's a lot of opportunity for us to personalize things so that you actually payments becomes invisible to a great extent, right? And so that's how we're thinking about personalization.
Mauli, I really agree with that. So fintech, travel, healthcare. So even for these industries, AI, Gen AI are a little nascent. That's what I hear. But when we move to energy sector, which is really a tough sector, I would like to hear from you, Ankur. How do you think the AI, Gen AI, what stage is it in the energy sector? And can you share some of the AI-driven use cases if you know something happening in Halliburton?
Sure. So thanks for that question. And I'll answer it in two parts. First, I'll tell you what's happening from a core company Halliburton perspective. Then I'll tell you what we are doing from a GCC perspective. So as you know, we are into oil field utilities. So we have this concept of drilling. There are a lot of AI-based solutions which are on production enhancement using drilling, and all of those are AI-based. And as we said, some ML component was also incorporated, so they are becoming more smart. But one very good example which I like to talk about is, so this is from last year. So we have a world's first AI augmented, well-controlled solution. The name of the solution is RoboWell. It was institutionalized in Abu Dhabi, UAE. There were some partner firms also involved. And what it does is, it's real-time insights when you are drilling a well. And it gives you those insights so that, you can take a call whether to stop or you need to change your navigation channel. The real-time monitoring happens from the control room. And this is enabling your production efficiency as well as reducing emissions as well as safety. Right. So these two examples from a core Halliburton perspective. Awesome. And then when I talk from a GCC perspective, I would say we have done a lot of work, and I'm just, not of demystifying, but taking a staggered approach. We have a lot of work from an intelligent automation perspective. Then, we have done a lot of work from a BPM perspective, AI, ML. And I'll give you one use case of an AI, ML solution, and then I'll tell you where we are thinking from a Gen AI perspective. So I'm sure most of us would relate, that whenever we are talking order to cash or receivables, there is a common project on, better AR forecast, DSO reduction. I think everyone would relate to it. So we partnered with Deloitte and we came up with, AR forecast across the company. And our company, you can say, have 10 different PSLs. So what we do, we take 10-year historical data, 7-year real-time data, and then we came up with 3 models. I don't want to go into detail, but just naming, we have LSTM model, NBEATS model, SJR model. I'm sure you relate to all of them coming from this field. And then what fit is that LSTM, which is long short-term memory, which is again an AI-based model. It works very fine for us. So when we started, it was like at 4.8% versus that original accuracy, and now we are at early 3%. So that's a real-time example which has been set up for past 12 to 18 months. And from a Gen AI perspective, we are right now, I would say, piloting on a solution. So here again, a real-time example is reconciliations. I'm sure all the people who are from finance field would be able to relate. So we are doing a hyper automation project, and we are using a Gen AI component for getting a better track of that open items, and then getting that balanced data collected so that my reconciliation is more in control and I'm doing less of follow-up. So all practical examples from an Halliburton perspective.
Thank you. Question to Sriram, and probably even everyone can answer. So if generative AI were a superhero, what would its superpower be in the context of your GCC, and which villain, probably operational challenge, would it battle? This is open to the panel, everyone. Maybe start with Sriram.
Why he wants to start with me, but I'll try to give it a shot. First, I was thinking probably compare first thing that came into my mind was Doctor Strange, but from the Avengers, I'll not get there. I talk something that I kind of live every day with, right? I'll compare the hero AI, a superhero, as Chota Beam, right? I don't know how many of you have seen Chota Beam, heard about Chota Beam. I don't know. All of you have heard. If you have kids, I'm sure, right? So it's very interesting, right? So Chota Beam, I would say compare AI to Chota Beam because he's always ready to help, right? A call away, always ready to help. The whole Dolakpur, right? The whole village or the whole world here kind of want to come together and kind of work or ask something, right? And it's just not asking anything or helping anybody, but trying to do anything that is asked for, whether lifting a mountain or bending a tree or trying to play hide and seek or anything, right? From anything to anything, it can truly do, right? And it's a go-to place for everybody to go to. So I really like AI to be compared with this. It's not only that. The best part about it, I want to insist, is it also creates a lot of mess, like Chota Beam, right? Sometimes he goes around paths, he does things that creates mess where you want people to come and clean it up later, right? So that's the comparison, I would say, probably AI to Chota Beam. The villain, again from the same series, is Kalia. I don't know how many of you know. Kalia is the villain that's there in Chota Beam, and I would compare AI to that, right? Because he always wants the spotlight, right? We always talk about Gen AI, everything else goes up, and he's the spotlight all the time, though that's not the right thing to do. And he always tries to challenge the superhero, right? Which is the AI, and the true OR behind the AI is always challenged by Kalia. You know where he stands finally, right? So I feel still the actual work beats and works. So that's the best part about it, I feel, right? So that's probably the comparison between what
I'm not sure you are a superhero or a villain, but the reason why we chose you to ask the first question, you have a beard and none of us have.
Okay.
That's why. Maybe Sumit, you would like to add? Maybe, everyone.
So I think I'll make it crisp, right? So when we are saying about the superhero, I think real-time business insights, which is going to help solving your problem or making sure there's an impact on a key business metrics. That's like superhero. 3 or 4 villains, I think sometimes you have too many systems operating in your organization because of the data integrity and getting to the right solution. That doesn't happen. People from finance can relate more. Second villain is CBA. Trying to do something, first tell me what is a cost-benefit analysis.
Right.
And for everything, you can't have a cost-benefit analysis. You can't quantify everything. So those are, some, again, real-time examples of hero and 2 villains.
Bala, can I add?
Thank you.
Go ahead. No, go ahead and then.
Okay. So when it comes to healthcare, I think hero really is going to be personalization, right? Apple Watch have saved so many lives through telling people that they have arterial fibrillation, right? Now back this up with clinical data. clinical and EHR data. I mean, we could take it to the next level. We could send prompts to the members telling them what medication they need to take or when they should approach an ER, right? That's the next level. So that's absolutely the hero. Let me talk about the villain over here. Villain really is the hallucination, as Ankur also highlighted, data integrity, right? I'd like to share this. One of our competitors is facing a class action lawsuit because their model was rejecting the claims for a certain class of people, right? And when they challenged, it was getting approved, right? So data hallucination could be a real nightmare. Think of a scenario when hallucination happens in healthcare. Right. We start sending wrong prompts to people regarding their health. So that's the real villain for us.
Awesome.
One quick point I wanted to add is that I think in my mind, data is the hero and the villain in the story, actually, right? And so I think, I think from a hero perspective, you all understand, I think there's so much of data out there. In fact, data is not the, new oil. I think there was a morning somebody said, because oil we know is going to end, data is not going to end. There's so much of data, it's going to, you're going to have more data. See, on the villain side, I think, let me elaborate, right? So I don't know how many of you have heard of this term called model collapse. In every day you learn something new in this Gen AI space, right? Model collapse happens when you have a lot of synthetic data. So you kind of lose touch with reality. So your model actually performance degrades. We talk about industry transformation. These are new things that are hitting at us, right? And so as Gen AI is great at generating synthetic data, and then the more synthetic data you generate is actually going to degrade performance, you're going to lose touch with reality. And that I think is super important for all of us to realize. As practitioners, as leaders in the room, we have to actually limit the amount of synthetic data that gets created as well. That is super important as well. So data, both a hero and a villain. Yeah.
So just adding to, I think all of you covered everything. So hero is definitely the convenience, easiness, the customer experience, right? That's for me is the hero. Wherever Gen AI is going, it's giving the convenience, giving the flexibility, making it easy for us. And villain is, of course, as Molly mentioned, the responsibility, the authenticity, right? And if something goes wrong, I think by the AI solutions, it impacts heavily as well. So I think to summarize, that's from my end.
Maybe, yeah, in the interest of time, we may be wrapping up in next 5 minutes. Of course, we'll have an interesting rapid fire session. Maybe I would like to give the benefit of the audience to ask 1 or 2 questions to the panel. Although we are short of time, but we want to be respectful. You are sitting and listening to us. So any questions, we want to take it up, please feel free to put your hands. You can pass on the mic. All right, I know it's the lunchtime. All right, so 10 minutes is there. Oh, awesome. So, okay. Then I'll have one follow-up question with all the answers you provided. So, what is the message or what is the ask to the headquarters, right? So, when we come across the hero, villain, each one of you explained very well. And there is an intention, and in fact, it is an artificial need is also there to do something in AI Gen AI, because retention, talent, attraction, retention also plays a vital role. Morning somebody was mentioning, everybody's first question is when you hire, hey, can I be in AI or Gen AI project? So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's how it is. It is what it is. So what is our ask to headquarters? Being a GCC, if we want to be a successful GCC and make an overall impact in the ecosystem, what could be our ask to our headquarters? Maybe this question is again for everyone, actually.
Okay. So I think, ask for GCC, I think to the headquarters. So we spoke, several sessions we've spoken about this, but I just want to reiterate. A lot of times what happens is that subconsciously or unconsciously, we use this word offshore, onshore, right? And there's work thrown across the wall, okay? And even seasoned GCCs use this word, okay? Because it's so ingrained in us. And so in my mind, I think one of the most important things is that you want to work on global problems. You want to solve for a global customer. You are, a microcosm of the company. So even though this is a Gen AI, topic, I think one of the most important things that we have to realize as leaders in the room is that we are here to solve global problems. And so, can you leverage AI, Gen AI to actually transform the way the company is moving? solve true customer problems. In my mind, that is the biggest thing. We have to be bold and go tackle it. Nobody is going to give you permission to do something, right? So you have an army at your disposal here. Can you create efficiency? Yes, you can, because you have AI, Gen AI. Then what do you do with that efficiency? Can you go and tackle a global problem that the company has? Put up your hand and solve a problem and then go present it, with the, the CXO, the SLT, the senior leadership team in the company. That in my mind is the biggest thing. And I won't say challenge, but it's the opportunity. How do you look at the challenge as an opportunity and go solve it? That is, I think, the road for us as leaders.
I kind of agree with what you spoke, right? The interesting thing about what we can ask our leaders is two things, I would say. One is true investment in our people, right? As far as the Gen AI and the stuff is concerned, right? Always we know that we can tweak technology, we'll get it out there, we'll get the latest stuff out there and make sure that it works, right? We're all very good with that. But the biggest thing is, how do we kind of get the support from our headquarters to invest in our people and kind of grow them up, if not reskill them, right? And try to get them into this bridge, which is very important according to me at this point of time, right? Yes, we'll bring in efficiencies, we'll show great products, right? We are solving and all that. But I think the biggest thing would be to invest in our people here to do that and to make use of the ecosystem that's available here and think outside of your own GCCs and look at other partner and other ecosystem that involved and is available in India, which is phenomenal. You take a field, the amount of stuff that happens outside of these GCCs and so many small players doing great work, right? And we have an incubation cell where we have several of these small players come and work with us. So the ask would be two. One is to look outside of our GCC and look at other players and don't reinvent the wheel and try to get stuff from them. And the other would be reskilling people.
So I think we'll again share a more of a practical perspective out here. So this is last year, 2023, so the town hall. So I asked my CFO, so what's that one most important thing that you have in your mind for 2023? So, the answer would be direct. So he first told me something, a slightly at a generic level. Then I said, can I ask a follow-up question? He said, okay. I said, what's that one most important metric that you have in your mind or the goal that you want to give it to all of us? So he said, for this year, for me, the most important thing is profitability. Yeah. So once we get that high level defined, that my CFO is looking for profitability for this year. So I'll ensure, the projects which I'm going to do, either leveraging AI, Gen AI, or as part of my business transformation, that are making an impact on my profitability. So that when my GBS heads goes and tells to the CFO, that this is what my team is going to do, there's a proper buy-in. So I think sometimes asking that question, or if you're not getting an answer, doing a follow-up, so that I know what exactly they are wanting, and then making sure then your project is tied towards that, then this whole becomes easy. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, thanks, Ankur. I'll take a different shot at it. We all are from India, where we have digital public infrastructure. So much so, yesterday, our chief product officer was visiting us. I showed them DigiYatra. He was blown away, right? That's one. I showed him Tata Neo app, how $100 billion business can be consolidated into a single app. They were blown away. So what we are doing is, it was, I'd say 5 years ago, that we had an ask from our leadership team in US. Now we tell and educate them how we could create digital public infrastructure or likes of it in the healthcare domain. So we have started taking a different shot at it. The only thing that we need to do is be good storytellers. When we tell the story in an effective manner, I think the acceptability is there. And that's one of the reasons why they have offices in India and maybe in Ireland and other nearshore locations. So that's
well said, Sumit. Spot on. Tali.
So thank you, Ankur and fellow colleagues. And it's like the same thing. We are GCC, we are sitting here, but some of the products are also selling in the local market. So we also have insights around our own products selling in our own local market here. And it's just a matter of saying co-create, innovate, and we start. And I think that's where the ask to the headquarters, that was your question, Bala, would be, just tell them that this is what we want to do from here. And instead of ask, just take it in your hand, right? So I think that's the power we are also seeing now, is getting enabled for the GCCs because of the knowledge, the operations, the technology, everything we need. It's just a matter of leaders saying, now we start to drive things from here and take up the problem statements that can be solved here with the local intelligence. Implement it, show the results, and of course, Global is here to listen to us.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Because, oh yeah, that's nice. Can you pass on the mic there? Yeah. Please introduce your name and the company and then the question.
Yeah, I'm Sanjeev Rastogi. I'm the CEO for Adani Group, GCC. So some of our panelists said that, go and say that we'll do this, we'll do this. This doesn't work in the ecosystem. The business problems which are headquarters in 90 countries, you have industries, I was working with Syngenta. You need to look at what is my business problem. So GC is the enabler and building a capability is important, but you can't drive the business decisions from GCC. Please understand, you will create capability of digital centers, you will create capability, you will deliver solutions, but I think it is important that we have a seat on the table and we understand the overall vision and strategy. So you need to be part of the strategy. You can't just go and say, I have 10 people, I'll do this for you. It has to dovetail in the 90 countries what you are doing, what is the ecosystem, how that works. Because you can't have a micro view. You need to have a larger view. So that was my only comment on something, because you need to be part of the strategy and the vision which the company is trying to drive.
Right. Thank you so much. So let's go wind it up with a rapid fire question. I think the next speaker will be on. Maybe I'll start from Mauli. Yeah. So no right, wrong answer. Nothing to do with GCC, nothing to do with the AI agent. Just for fun and keeping everyone warm. Okay.
Yep.
Shopping, movie, sleeping.
Sleeping.
Okay. X, Insta, LinkedIn.
Nokia.
All right. So greeting card, SMS, email.
SMS.
Okay. One quote that you remember forever. One quotation that you remember forever.
Success lies in courage.
Okay. Mobile, clock, watch.
Mobile.
All right. From here again, two truths about you.
Values matter more than intelligence. That's one truth. Second one, I think, is that you are the biggest constraint for yourself.
Awesome. Sriram, one lie about you.
I have not watched any Rajinikanth movie.
Awesome. So work from home, work from office, hybrid model.
Work from office all
Awesome.
the time. Collaboration is everything.
Awesome. Captive, GIC, GCC.
GCC.
Okay. Cricket, soccer, tennis.
Cricket.
Awesome. Put your hands together, my dear friends, for the wonderful, terrific, informative panel. And thank you, Elets and Raviji and team, for giving a wonderful opportunity. Few more sessions are going to come. Enjoy your time. Thank you so much.